In this video, I'm going to share with you how my wife used these law of attraction teachings to go from a minimum wage job to earning $10,000 off of single art pieces all over the world. This is Jake Ducey with JakeDucey.com, and you haven't met my wife yet. This is Ashley. Everyone comment down below. Hi, Ashley. This is going to change your life. Let's dive right into this video.
Let's do it.
If you have not subscribed yet, be sure to hit the subscribe button right over there and hit the bell notification because that's what's going to notify you for new videos. Subscribe, bell notification. Let's get right to the video. So I thought, what better time to introduce everyone to Ashley and share her story about going from a minimum wage job, folding clothes at Brain-A-Thon, traveling in traffic an hour each way a day to selling $10,000 art pieces then right now, because John Assaraf's Brain-A-Thon is going on right now. And when Ashley learned these things about the brain, it allowed her to go from there to building a business with hundreds of clients from all over the world, art courses with people from all over the world. So right there down below is John's Brain-A-Thon. It's totally free. It's jakeducey.com/brain. And this is an absolutely life-changing. It's coming up this weekend. And so the first thing that Ashley that changed her life was this law of attraction teaching, which is this, that don't lower your standard of living to meet your income. Raise your income to meet your standard of living. And that's one that you always talk about.
Yeah, it is.
And how did that help you go from when you were coming home from work exhausted every single day, after traffic, folding clothes, upset, you didn't like your job? How did that shift for you?
Well, I was like working a job, I was living this life that was so taxing, so exhausting, and it was all because I had these limitations around what I felt like my brain could do and how I felt like I could step into my voice and what I was really passionate about, which was art. And I'd placed all these limitations around that, and I realized I was living to be in alignment with this income that wasn't serving me at all. It wasn't giving me freedom, it wasn't giving me time, it wasn't giving me excitement or passion, it was just depleting me. And I realized I just couldn't do that anymore. And I had to start raising what it was that I was earning to start meeting my alignment with my happiness, with my health, because it was really unhealthy, working as many hours as I was, traveling as many hours as I was every day in traffic, and just...
Look at how cute she is. So what we mean by that is, we're not saying you need to start spending money you don't have. No. But the way your brain is actually programmed through evolution for efficiency. Meaning that your brain is trying to conserve your energy because back in the day, that was what was needed for survival. And we didn't know that until we started studying the brain and these things. That's why I'm talking about John's Brain-A-Thon, which is, click that down below, jakeducey.com/brain. So it's efficiency. So the way that we're conditioned is when we're used to a certain income level. In Ashley's instance, it was a minimum wage job that I was broke. So her mom was trying to convince her to tell me to get a job. And thankfully, she didn't make me do that.
No, I didn't.
And so she was in debt because I couldn't pay for anything. And so what happens is your brain gets used to that. And what happens is we start to lower our standard of living and our expectations for our future.
Yeah.
And we set lower standards. And whatever standards you set in your life, especially when it comes to income, that's how the law of attraction responds to it. And most people try to optimize their limited income for the rest of their life instead of saying, okay, how can I create a more abundant life, especially when it's coming to financial situations? So instead of lowering our standard of living to meet our income and saying, I'm just stuck with this, which is the way your brain is programmed. Your brain is programmed for efficiency, so your brain is designed to keep you at that level. And so what you have to do is start asking different questions. And the questions that we started asking was, okay, well, how the heck are you gonna get out of this job? And it was, I wanna do art.
Yeah,
and
we made a plan.
And you started making lists of all the ways we can make money.
Yeah, and I talk about this a lot when I share with people, friends who ask me about abundance. It was a shift in mentality to an abundance mentality. So where in my life can I draw into my experience ways of abundance? Like what's already available around me, and what's a list of things that I have, qualities, characteristics, things that I'm really good at. I was really amazing at making granola. So I was like, oh, I could make granola. Like I just thought of everything in the kitchen sink that would bring me abundance and started aligning with those type of things and putting myself in placement of those things.
And it wasn't that we did all of those things.
No.
It's that we started conditioning our brains to be in a reality of abundance as opposed to, obviously we were very tight on our budget. We were doing those things that are very important when you don't have a lot of money coming in, but we weren't allowing our brain to settle there. And that's very important. You have to start to raise your income to meet your desired standard of living. And so what we learned was that John is teaching you basically about how your brain is conditioned and how to actually start to change your financial position by rewiring your brain. So click down there, right there down below, jakeducey.com/brain. And I want to share with you these next couple steps that Ashley did that will absolutely blow your mind. So make sure you keep listening, because it doesn't matter where you are right now. You're going to see some amazing, amazing things are possible. So let's dive right in. Number 2, click down, jakeducey.com/brain. And if you haven't yet, say hello to Ashley, okay? Comment down below. Hi, Ashley.
Hello. So let's talk about number 2, facing your fear.
Number 2.
And facing your fear.
Comment down below. Face your fears.
Face your fears. It is a very real thing. For me, it took form in crying, literally crying on Jake's shoulder one evening, just brought into tears because I was so afraid to take the next step with my art business, to really...
Because she had never sold her art before.
Never sold my art. Never even thought about selling it and creating it as my lifestyle, which had always been my dream, but something I was so fearful of. So that initial step into creating that in my life was so scary, and it did bring me to tears. And Jake,
literally in tears, I can't
shaking.
Do this.
I don't know what to do. I was in a place, and maybe you felt familiar experiences as well, but you get in a place where you feel extremely stuck. Like, thanks. Like you want to move forward and you know that's the route you want to go, but this fear is just totally blocking you. You feel terrified to just make that next step. And that was totally me. And it took shape, and we talked about it.
So what she was saying was, it was actually, she was petrified of what would happen if she invested the time and energy into it and it failed.
Conversation.
So what I learned a couple years ago on John's Brain-A-Thon was that your brain is actually designed to keep you away from fear. That's how we evolved, was that you had to be able to run from giant things that could eat you. You had to hide from the elements, from all the intense seasons and storms. That's the only reason human beings are still alive, is because fear played an integral part in our evolution as a species. So the brain was designed to keep you away from fear. Now the brain hasn't evolved. And so what happens is, in that respect, it hasn't evolved. It would be wrong to say it hasn't evolved at all. In that respect, it hasn't. Which means that you don't have impending threats on your life. Now, your brain is convincing you have impending threats on your life. And in this instance, it was real terror she felt. Because what happens is, you have a thought, your brain starts automatically wiring to protect you from that fear. It's controlling your nervous system, and you're in fight or flight. And she's literally convulsing in tears on the couch the first night, where we decided, okay, the way you're going to raise your standard of living to meet your income, and your income to meet your standard of living, you're going to be an artist. And she was like, okay. And then the next day, total fear.
Yeah, and fear takes whatever it looks like when you're self-sabotaging, when you're not taking action on what it is that you actually want, which was where I was at. I was sabotaging myself with just not even stepping forward. We just get totally locked, like this whole locked position. And that's when we made a plan for me, and we sat down, and I had a partner, luckily, who sat down and had a conversation with me, but we made a plan for how I was going to overcome this fear, step forward with ease, and with that fear was still there, but to get that movement going for me.
And that's why it's so important to understand the way that your brain is blocking what you want.
Yes.
And so down below is jakeducey.com/brain. I couldn't be more excited. Ashley and I sit on our couch and we take notes on all these. And it's free. It's amazing. He's going to have a bunch of Harvard doctors on. And when you learn how your brain has been conditioned to operate, then you can actually evolve your brain.
Yes.
And so what happened was she went from convulsing in tears to, in about 18 months, not only selling $10,000 art pieces all over the world, starting at selling pieces for, I don't know, $20, $30 or something like that.
Yeah. I sold my first piece a month after that for like only $20. And that's not what it's about, but we actually started studying the brain shortly after I had that experience, and it just amplified every single piece of what I was doing, brought so much more awareness to how my mind's working for me and how it's also working against me, which definitely takes place when we're trying to take action on our dreams and moving forward with something we feel passionate about in our life. So we started studying shortly thereafter, like really in depth, all of these different systems that Jake's talking about right now. And they were super helpful. And
so jakeducey.com/brain. Now let me share with you, this one is the most powerful that I'm about to share. So jakeducey.com/brain. Comment down below, I am greater than my environment. Because your brain wants to convince you that you're stuck in your environment. And her environment for her whole life had been minimum wage job.
Yep.
And so your brain is conditioned to your environment. So comment down below, I am greater than my environment. Comment that down below. I am greater than my environment. And then go down and make sure, if you haven't yet, that you check out John's Brain-A-Thon, jakeducey.com/brain. So coming into number 3, overcoming your old money stories. Tell me about overcoming your old money stories from, working since you were 15 years old, minimum wage job. And then, obviously, there was a lot of terror around money growing up in your family.
There's a lot of lack. Yeah, I had a lot of lack in my family. I had a lot of, I bought this for you, so you owe me, or a lot of guilt and shame that acquired when it came to money. I worked since the time I was 15 and a half, so I had a minimum wage job always. And at that time I was in Utah.
And there's nothing wrong with a minimum wage job.
Not at
it's
all.
Just that your brain gets conditioned to that reality, and it's hard to break out of it.
Yeah, and I was definitely conditioned to that was my life. I couldn't extend too far outside of that because I needed to earn money to make money for myself. I was kind of between a rock and a hard place. So that was my money mentality, and it was definitely a huge thing to overcome, working through those kinks of I have to work hourly to make my life happen, to take care of myself, to support myself.
How about your fear? And your other big fear was you didn't think, because you didn't have a college degree, that you could ever make very much money.
The limitations like we're taught growing up. If you don't get a college degree, you're bound to make millions less during your lifetime. So all these different restrictions placed around that. For me too, the big feminine masculine energy, the woman stays at home, the man earns the money. I had a lot of different types of theories that were working against me when it came to me stepping into my empowerment as, an earner, just a woman doing amazing things in her life and creating a business that she loves. So those were,
How did you face those storylines? Because everyone, you're listening right now, right? And you may have a similar storyline, or you may not, but I'm sure something's coming up for you. And for a lot of us, our brain has been conditioned to a low income level, or we've inherited a low income level type of set in our brain because we watched our parents and our grandparents and things like that. Share with me now you don't look at yourself incapable of making money. So how did your self-image shift, and in what ways did your self-image shift in respect to money?
When I began studying money and I began understanding that it's energy and just my life was energy as a whole, I began to be able to kind of put together the pieces of the puzzle of recognizing what my limiting beliefs were around multiple areas of my life, including money, and just bringing awareness, starting to ask those questions within myself, subjecting myself to teachers, to things that were bringing those questions towards me and really having me look inward and seeing, where are my limitations placed right now? What walls have I put up? What blocks have I placed in my path that I can remove consciously? So I just started asking the right questions, and those came from obviously my own intuition, but a lot also through teaching and learning through different teachers we look up to and and learn about. And that's when I started being able to really just start bringing awareness. And that's
What's
my
your
big
favorite?
one.
What's your favorite money affirmation, Ashley?
I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me.
Comment that down below. I'm so happy
quantities.
and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through many sources on a continuous basis. Comment that down below. Say it one more time, Ashley. Everyone comment it down below.
I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me in increasing quantities through many sources on a continuous basis.
One more time. Comment it down below. I'm so happy and grateful now that money comes to me. Everyone comment that down below.
Through many sources on a continuous basis.
So this is my beautiful wife, Ashley.
Hi guys,
Ducey.
nice to meet you.
It's Ashley Ducey now.
Yeah.
So everyone make sure that you sign up for John's Brain-A-Thon. We'll be on it. It's totally free this weekend. JakeDucey.com/brain. It's right there down below. So if you got a brother, sister, lover, anyone that you think would benefit from them, pull out the popcorn.
Yeah.
And you just bought some popcorn.
I did. I prepped for it. Popcorn.
So down below, JakeDucey.com/brain. Everyone say hi to Ashley. If you're still watching this, Ashley's channel is about to come out soon.
Yeah.
Ashley's going to be making her
Next
YouTube
week.
channel. So for those that are interested, I'll actually put the link. The videos probably won't be up yet, but you can at least click it and subscribe. So that'll be down in the info down below. So go ahead, sign up for the Brain-A-Thon, and I hope that this inspires you. And make sure you comment down. I'm so happy and grateful that money comes to me in increasing quantities and many sources on a continuous basis. Do you have anything good to say?
No. Thanks for having me.
All right, cool. So hit the subscribe button and the bell notification right over there. Comment down below if you liked me having Ashley on the videos, and maybe I'll consider having her on in the future.
Oh, maybe you'll consider.
Yeah, I'll consider it. Okay, thanks guys. Love you. Bye.